From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
My name's Tanner Petraucci at The Fireplace, where we know home is where the hearth is. We pride ourselves on providing great quality customer service, fireplace extraordinaire and low-pie products, as well as some of the best training in town.
Everybody get up.
Well, good morning, everyone. Here's a look at a time-lapse from our Lake Chastina Golf Resort time-lapse here. It's our Sky Cam, sponsored by Elwood Ranch. Some of the clouds we did see, at least in Siskiyou County and around Mount Shasta itself. Boy, we did see a lot of those clouds, but as we went through the morning and even into the early afternoon hours, you can start to see more blue skies and things began to clear out, making for a pretty nice day, actually. All right, so here's your Kruger's Quick Cast for your Thursday, June 4th. Starting off with that skeeter meter on a scale of 0 to 5 at a 2, actually down a half a point from last week. That certainly is a good sign here. There's some great tips that the Shasta Mosquito and Vector Control has for you to help prevent your yard from becoming a breeding grounds for those mosquitoes. And if you have any problems or issues, you can always call the number on your screen. Of course, those problems and issues with mosquitoes. All right, out the door here for this morning. Yeah, mainly clear skies. There still is going to be a little bit of cloud cover for those of you along the coast, but otherwise, should be a pretty nice day out there today, and it's getting warmer, definitely getting warmer, and we're approaching that 100-degree mark in the valley. That's all thanks to high pressure. As you can see, the big void of clouds over the eastern Pacific. However, you see that area of low pressure, that brown dotted line or dashed line, that is an area of low pressure that's flattening out the ridge. So you can bet it certainly would be a lot hotter if we didn't have the area of low pressure over the Gulf of Alaska, kind of flattening out that ridge a bit. But we are seeing more clearing along the coast, so I do expect to see a little bit more sunshine for some of you along the coast, but there are still going to be some areas sucked in with some of that marine layer and low clouds. Otherwise, sunny skies. Take a look at the rainfall chances. We're bumping it up a little bit more each day. Monday, Tuesday look to be the 2 days that I think all of Northern California could see a chance for some showers. This is not going to be a big rain-producing event, but it is going to be cooler and chances for showers by early next week. And we'll take it, especially this time of the year, right? It's getting warmer out there. Mid to upper 90s in the valley, 70s, 80s, even some low 90s for some of the warmer spots for the mountains, especially in Trinity County, for example. Tonight, we're in the low to mid 60s for the valley, 40s, 50s for the higher elevations, and in the mid to upper 40s for the coast. So yeah, there it is. Temperatures pretty warm today and tomorrow. We're going to be approaching 100 degrees, but I don't think we're going to quite get there just yet. Upper 80s throughout the weekend, and then low 80s by early next week with that chance for showers. Some areas may see even a chance on Wednesday, like the coast and say the north end of the North Coast. Say, for example, northern Humboldt, around Del Norte counties, but Trinity County most likely dry by Wednesday with that chance for showers Monday, Tuesday of next week. Also seeing that chance for some showers here for Siskiyou, Modoc County, Eastern Mountains. And again, it's mainly to the north on Wednesday, Siskiyou County, Modoc County, that may see that chance lingering into Wednesday of next week. But bottom line, still pretty warm over the next few days, cooling off by the weekend. A quick look at your fire weather update, and the winds are something that you may have noticed this morning in some spots. Still a little breezy, borderline gusty this afternoon. You can see even along the coast seeing some strong winds. I expect even stronger winds for your Friday afternoon, even for parts of the mountains, especially the north and east. And again, you'll notice even along the coast, you've got some pretty strong winds coming in, especially on Saturday. Winds maybe not as bad for the valley on Saturday, but as you can see on Sunday, we should see overall those winds start to subside a little bit here. So what does that mean for a fire weather risk? Well, that's the color coding there, right? So yellows is basically moderate. Starting to get in those oranges, it's a little bit more elevated, but you can see some of the single digits that we are seeing with the humidity levels. So that's going to keep that fire weather risk fairly elevated here over the next few days, especially for the valley with that north wind. But as temperatures do start to drop, we should start to also see the humidity levels increase a little bit more, and that fire weather risk is going to drop as well as we go into the weekend. But again, it's that time of the year. Even though those fire weather risks can drop, we still got to be extra careful. So above normal highs will continue at least through Friday with a dip in those temperatures as we go into the weekend. Gusty winds at times and rain chances a little bit more promising as we take you into early next week. All right, let's get your deeper dive forecast for your Thursday, June 4th. There's your satellite image. Now, the area of low pressure is right here. You see that spin of low pressure? That is moving pretty much due east. What it's doing is this ridge of high pressure. See this big void of clouds? That's high pressure. The thing is, though, it's having a hard time really building and getting as strong as it would like, because this is basically just flattening out the ridge. That's a key component. So whether or not we see triple digits or even see really hot temperatures, because this is preventing that heat from really expanding and growing. But it is still very warm out there, as we're seeing those upper 90s for many of you in the valley today and tomorrow. This, though, will eventually begin to take shape and cool us off over the weekend. There's Saturday, that trough of low pressure. Fairly moisture starved, so it will be dry this weekend. Now we're going to start off with the American forecast model here. This is the GFS, because I want to compare and contrast what we're seeing with the American and the European forecast model. All right, so the American forecast model has been first to really start potentially bringing us some of that rainfall over the last several days in the long range. When I say the long range, around Monday, Tuesday of next week. So this weekend, as I mentioned, it's dry, but it will be cooler. Got my eyes on this area of low pressure and the rain that's associated with it. Now you can see that the GFS, fairly aggressive with the rainfall coming in. But bottom line, Monday, possibly into Tuesday, looks to be the day that I think we've got the best chance for some showers entering the picture for all of Northern California. There you can see, even on Wednesday, there may be a chance for a few showers lingering, especially I'd say to the north. All right, now let's take a look at the European forecast model. Much like that of the GFS, there you can see right here, it's got that cooler air moving in over the weekend, but staying dry. But look back here. This is that next storm system. This is the one that looks to be moving in. Now, the European forecast model is a little less aggressive with the amount of rainfall that we could see out of this on Monday, but it is bringing in more Monday night into Tuesday morning. So the timing of some of the heavier rainfall looks to be more like a Monday night, Tuesday morning event for the European forecast model, but more like, say, a Monday afternoon for the GFS. But then going into Wednesday, it actually kind of dries things out. But it is moving out, and then we've got high pressure over here that may build in, giving us warmer temperatures at that point. Now, I want to show you just one of the forecast models. This is projecting all the way out through Monday afternoon. Yeah, not a lot of rainfall is there. And it looks like most of it will be confined off to the north and west, out towards places like Del Norte County. And quite honestly, I think that might even be overdoing it, but we certainly could see a little bit of rainfall out there. That's good, because, you know, we'd like to maybe see more, but at least it's going to cool us off, and it's going to increase the humidity levels and decrease that fire danger, and that's always a big thing for us, right? Or take a look at Futurecast, and you can see that we do have some of that fog still lingering. There may be some clearing for parts of you along the coast, but of course everyone else seeing the mainly sunny skies. There'll be a couple of passing clouds here and there. Friday, pretty much more of the same. Still a little bit sucked in with that fog on Friday for the coast, but Saturday I expect a lot more clearing for you along the coast. Still plenty of sunshine everywhere else. Taking you into your Sunday, once again, plenty of sunshine. But there it is. There's that approaching storm system, week one. But nonetheless, there's that approaching rain coming in possibly around Monday. Now, the Climate Prediction Center is still pretty much on board with that potential. You see it's kind of pushing it more and more to the north. Because honestly, what I've seen over the last few days is that the models want to push most of the rain to the north of us. And I think that's where most of it will be, but still some of that working its way down into Northern California as well. Now, let's talk about temperatures and with our overall trend. So again, it's that flat ridge of high pressure. I've been talking about it. The bigger the dome, the bigger the heat. The smaller the dome, the smaller the heat. And when you flatten out the ridge, it can't get as hot as it would like. So the biggest area of heat is right here. And when you have that dome, it tries to expand into regions outside of it, but it's having a hard time doing that for us because this right here has been riding over that ridge, and then by the weekend, that's the cooler air I was talking about for the weekend. Reinforcing shot of cooler air should have a little bit more moisture to work with, which is the reason why we have that chance for rain Monday and even Tuesday of next week. But then it looks like by the latter part of next week, this will begin to build, and some signs are pointing to some triple-digit heat. Not this weekend, but the weekend after that. Long range, looking way down the line here, but now we can take a look at through mid-June, we're going to be in that near normal to just slightly above normal for this time of the year. And when we look at the 10-day trend, there's today, there's tomorrow. Upper 90s, approaching 100. And here's the thing, some models are even pointing at 100 degrees by Friday. I'm going to keep that out of the forecast for now, but we'll see. We'll see what today brings, and then we may have a better idea what tomorrow may bring. But there you can see that dip in the temperatures. And look at this. I mean, we're dropping below normal Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, even Thursday. It's not until the end of next week, into that next weekend. You see that? We're flirting with 100, folks. So yeah, I mean, we could start getting into that first day of 100 that anyone in the valley will see for the season so far. And then once we hit that threshold, typically it's going to be a little bit more common for us to get closer to, if not even above 100 degrees. Taking a look at those lake levels, yeah, we're still seeing those minor drops, about a half a foot for Lake Shasta, quarter of a foot for Lake Oroville, a little bit more than that out in Trinity Lake, but still over 100% for that historical average. Now the wave heights, this is something I've been mentioning, they are going to be increasing a little bit here for today, and that is the reason why, as you can see here, looking at your marine forecast, yeah, we've got that small craft advisory. Waves from the north at 6 feet at 7 seconds, and from the west at 6 feet at 10 seconds. With those winds, yeah, they're picking up too, out of the north at about 15 to 20 knots. All right, so here's your neighborhood forecast, sponsored by Dignity Health and Grange Co-op. For Trinity County, you're talking 80s. Some of the warmer spots like Trinity Center and Douglas City, about 90 degrees. Now again, across the board, everyone's got a chance for showers come Monday and Tuesday. That may linger on into Wednesday, and I would say especially out towards Del Norte, Northern Humboldt for Wednesday of next week. Otherwise, I think everyone else has that chance come Monday and Tuesday. We take a look at your Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast. There is the showers Monday, Tuesday, keeping that chance in there possibly even into Wednesday. Temperatures today, though, in the low 80s. Low 80s, even some upper 70s for your daytime highs in Modoc County. Rain chances Monday, Tuesday. May linger on into Wednesday. Eastern mountains, I don't have those chances in there for you Wednesday, but I think the chances will be better going into Monday, Tuesday. But again, today, as you can see, around 90 degrees for Susanville, a little bit warmer on Friday. Here's your valley neighborhood forecast to the south. Yeah, rain chances Monday, Tuesday. Chances are a bit slimmer, I'd say, in the valley than they are in the mountains, but certainly some chances nonetheless. And it is cooling off over the weekend, too. We're talking upper 80s, even cooler. In fact, much cooler by Monday, Tuesday, low to mid-80s, and continue the mid-80s for Wednesday of next week. All right, we're getting warmer out there, folks. I mean, 98 for Redding, 97, for Anderson, 97 for Redding, 97 in Palisadro and Red Bluff. And there's your 7-day forecast for Redding. It's getting warmer again today, tomorrow, upper 80s, that is, for Saturday, Sunday. And then there's that chance for showers and much cooler by Monday, Tuesday, around 84 by next Wednesday. I'll be back again at noon for the latest check your weather. Have a great morning.
When you see flashing lights, someone's life depends on us.
And while we're out helping crash victims, we need your help to keep us safe. Move over, slow down, it's the law, it protects everyone.
Our crews are out here every day, keeping the roads safe for you and your family.
We're often the last ones on scene, and we want to make it home safe too.
Protect those who protect you, slow down and move over.